Hey guys.
Hiya, love.
Hiya, love.
I'm Gabs, and this is my girlfriend Soph.
Hello.
We are your hosts. Welcome to Queer Podcast, where we hear all things queer.
We bring you the best of all the coming out stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the outright hilarious.
This is the content that we wish we had during our closeted years.
So stay tuned for our weekly episodes. Ooh, so in sync, I love it.
We've been spending way too much time together.
We're one.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay, no one asked you to sing, hun.
Fuck you off.
Stick to your painting. All right.
That I can do.
We've also been watching an unhealthy amount of RuPaul. Sophie doesn't usually last a whole film. Like, she'll be goners halfway through a film. But with RuPaul, she's like, let's stream. Come on, next episode. We're getting through like 4 episodes a night, like without blinking.
Well, you know, what else you meant to do?
So we've got season 6 from the US on the go, and we've got the current UK series on the go. Is anyone watching?
We just watched season 8 US.
Oh yeah, we finished season 8 US, which was phenomenal. Won't give away any spoilers for anyone out there who hasn't watched. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It will change your life. Yeah. It's great entertainment. But yeah, so we're watching the UK current series, and if anyone is watching that, which queen is that? Go on.
I don't know.
I've been training you.
I don't remember names.
Alyssa Edwards.
Yeah, that one.
To be fair to her, we haven't watched series 5 yet, so wonk wonk. Which queen is that?
I don't know.
In our current season.
In 6.
I'll give you a clue.
Oh, is it that Spanish?
No, that's
Chica.
That's Cynthia from series 8. No, I'm talking about, we're watching series 6.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know what? There'll be listeners out there like screaming down the phone. It's this one.
I don't remember the names.
Okay, do you want a clue? The last name is a typical British animal that comes out at night.
Fox.
Yeah? Does it not ring any bells?
Georgina Fox.
Oh my god.
Georgie Fox.
Call yourself a fan.
Courtney Fox. I don't know. What would your drag name be?
Ooh.
Oh, what would it be? Wait, let's come up with one. The name of your first pet.
Okay.
And your favourite food. What's the name of your first pet?
Scarlet.
Oh,
that is a really good drag
yes.
name. Okay, Scarlet. My favourite food. That's a really hard question because I'm such a foodie.
Really? Oh no, that's not food.
Ooh,
wait,
it's really hard to pick.
Marmite.
Yeah. Scarlet Marmite. Oh my god. Just call me Scarlet Marmite, girls. Girls and boys, gals, pals and non-binary pals, just call me Scarlet Marmite.
Remind me. Got a rabbit and a guinea pig when I was younger. One called Tinkerbell and one called Lucky. So.
Oh my god, Tinkerbell's a good one.
And my favourite food.
Yeast extract. No, what's it called?
Oh,
nutritional yeast.
Oh my god, could I just have that name? Yeah. Nutritional yeast.
No. Nutritional beast.
Yeah, nutritional beast.
Hey, welcome to Queer Podcast. It's your gals, Nutritional Beast and Scarlet Marmite. Watch out for us on season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. So stick with us. We're about to spill some more tea.
Oh, not as quite in sync, but
That's because my tea's gone cold.
yeah.
Because you've chatted shit for so long.
Anyway, episode 6 with Jackie, aka Lynx. She's a singer, songwriter, musician, currently living in Brooklyn, New York. And we mentioned her at the end of last week's episode to check her out on Spotify, and a few people got in touch saying that they love her music, which is cool.
She talks to us about what coming out meant for her and how it was growing up queer in a small town in the US. I know. We then go on to chat about her music career and the inspiration behind our favourite songs of hers. Ooh.
Just being
Honest, I wouldn't turn from the mirror.
Yes.
Where is my record deal?
So, welcome to the podcast, Jackie, aka Links on Spotify. It's nice to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's cool that we linked up, eh?
Linked up.
Yeah, so you're on here to talk to us about your coming out story, and then later on we'll talk a little bit about your music career, etc. Tell everyone where to find you. So yeah, you're happy about telling us where it started?
Yeah, definitely. So yes, I identify as bisexual, although it's been kind of a journey recently, but I'll get to that. So I first found out that I could have been bi when I was in my sophomore year of high school. I discovered Rose and Rosie.
Oh, yes.
Like,
just for the English viewers, how old are you in sophomore year? Because I have no idea.
Oh, right. Sophomore year of high school, I believe you're like 14. No, you are 15 going on 16.
Ooh, so
Okay,
like
cool.
your last year, second to last year maybe.
Well, because it goes freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So it's like,
Okay.
I think it's like between 14 and 15, 15 to 16, depending
Cool.
on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's late or early. I mean, it's all depending on when
It's
you figure
relative,
it out.
isn't it? It's different for everyone.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. But I had no idea really what being gay was, which sounds weird. Like when I was in middle school, which when I was from like probably the ages of like 10. Yeah, actually when I was probably like 10 years old, there was an incident in my town where at the mall in the news, there was a gay couple, these two men who were harassed at the mall for holding hands.
Oh god.
Just holding
Oh my
hands. And
God.
it made like the local
Ugh.
news. So all these kids at my school were like poking fun and like talking about it because that's just how the world was. There wasn't really
Yeah.
acceptance
Yeah.
back then, as crazy as it might seem or feel right now. But oh yeah, I'm from this little town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is conservative still. They did vote for Trump, but
Ugh.
Yeah, I
yeah.
see it.
But anyway, yeah. So I remember learning about it, and my mom actually said she sat me down when it happened, and she told me, and I'll never forget it. And I'm excited we can talk about this because now I can be like on the record in the world. But my mom, her name's Amy. She's a lovely person.
Hi,
And
Amy.
she sat me, yeah, Amy. She sat me down, and she said, Jacqueline, which is my name. She said, Jacqueline, we do not hate anyone for who they are in this house.
Oh, wow.
And people who are gay, which you will learn, are just like you and me, and we love them no matter who they are.
That's amazing.
What a
It was
lovely
like
woman.
6 a.m. before getting on the bus to go to school, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, okay. Like I had no
Yes.
idea what it was, and now I look back on that moment and I can feel like I could almost cry about it. It's just
Oh, I know. I'm getting shivers just listening to
Yeah.
that, to be honest.
Yeah, and so I went to school and I was like, I don't even know what being gay was. There was this whole like thing about people talking about, would people come out of the closet? Like what's going like it was almost like this new rumor started happening of all these kids trying to figure out who's gay.
Yeah.
And I was never bullied for it. I don't think that people thought that I was. And then when I got to high school, I actually switched schools and I started going to a cyber school, which is just online learning.
Okay.
And then with that schooling, I started going to performing arts school.
Nice.
Nice.
So I was able to start playing music, which is what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that later. But
We will indeed.
Definitely.
yes. And so when I was in high school, I discovered Rose and Rosie.
Yes.
And
Watch out, Rose and Rosie.
Yeah, watch out.
Soph and Gabs are in town.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're awesome. I still follow them to this day.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They just posted a video of them having a baby.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Oh,
I was so
seven.
excited.
Yeah.
I remember when they were first just like making videos of just kind of the meeting. Like I discovered them when they had just like really started, I think, figuring out that they were making videos together.
Yeah.
There was a few in the beginning where it was just random content.
Yeah.
But then they started figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I discovered Rose and Rosie, and I latched on to Rosie because she had made this video about being bi, and I had no idea what that was. I knew that I didn't only like women, and I knew that I didn't only like men, but I couldn't figure out what that was.
Yeah.
So then I found this like label, and I just did like a deep internet dive, and I was like, oh my God, like that's it. And I was terrified
Yeah.
because I didn't know what my dad would think. I
No.
knew that my mom would be okay with it because I
Mhm.
remembered that conversation. And then the rest of my family had no idea. So I didn't come out until I was in college,
Mhm.
my freshman year. So it was like years later that I actually just came to terms with it for myself. So fast forward when I was in college, my very first semester, it was kind of strange. It was like I hid this whole part of myself for years. And then I went to college, and within the first 3 weeks, I just came out to my friend in college.
Wow.
I was like, hey, I need to tell you something. And I like burst into tears because I had never told anybody.
Wow.
And I just said, I'm bi.
Mhm.
And she was like, yeah, okay. Like that's great. You don't need to come out, but that's great. Like
She had a mum like Amy too.
Yes.
maybe, yeah. I have no idea. But
That's such a cool response though. Like you don't need to come out, but cool.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like you shouldn't need to.
Mm.
And I think about that a lot as like, yeah, like I hope that one day we get to a point where it's like you don't need to come out at all.
Yeah.
Like it's just people are who they are. But I
Yeah.
think for right now, considering like we're still fighting for it, I think it makes sense.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I am this and that's okay. And then
Yeah.
one day society will catch up. But yeah, that's like the first time I came out. And then I came out to my parents, and that surprisingly all went completely fine. I remember I told my dad, well, I told my mom first over text because I like couldn't tell it to her face. I was trying for like weeks. Like I'd come home from school and I'd just be sitting there on the couch, like ready, trying to wait for the moment to happen, and it just didn't. For weeks, I was just convinced that I wasn't supposed to tell her face to face.
Yeah. I just couldn't like get the words out.
Yeah, and so then I wrote out this whole like essay of text. She like came up to my room and she was like, "I don't know why you didn't think you couldn't tell me in person." Like, and it was just so sweet. And then I was so scared to tell my dad
Mhm.
because I just didn't know his take on it or what he would think. And he came up to my room, and my mom then like told me earlier on in the day, she said, "Your dad, he knows you have something to tell him, but he doesn't know what it is." And
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
okay. And so I'm sitting up there doing math, and I remember I was so stressed. And he came up to my room, and I was like, oh no, I have to do my math homework, and I also have to tell my dad.
Oh God.
Two of the most daunting things.
I'm like so stressed out. And he comes up, he knocks on my door, and I'm like, Dad, can you wait like 15 minutes? I just need to figure out this problem. He's like, no, I'm coming in right now. And he like comes into my room, and he stands and he's like, okay, what is it? And he just, I know he knew. He just knew what it was. He's just
Yeah.
like, just say it. It's fine. And I hugged him, and I just started crying,
Oh.
like just flat out crying. And yeah, like I didn't even have to say it. He just knew.
Mhm.
And then, oh, my brother, though, this is actually a good story. I had talked to my mom, and my brother was kind of young at the time. So I think she was tentative to introduce him
Yeah.
to what that all meant.
How young are we talking?
He was, I think, around 10 or 12 years
Yeah.
old.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was like not super young, like not a toddler, but he was still like figuring himself out. And I
Yeah.
think she was just like, hey, just like, we don't need to tell him yet.
Yeah.
So then I just kept asking her, I'm like, I need to tell him. Like, I'm going to start bringing girls home. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be a thing. He's going to need to know. And so we started watching that TV show Sense8.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Great
that.
show.
And there's a lot of scenes in that show that we just started watching it together. We had no idea what was going to happen. And there's like, you know, full on any kind of like nudity scene you could think of that would happen. I don't know who's listening, so I don't want to like
It's fine.
No spoiler
Stay
alerts.
Yeah.
no spoilers. But yeah, so my brother would watch it with me. It was like our thing. We always found shows to watch together.
That's so cute.
And he was sitting there just like we were watching one of the scenes, and I remember I said, "Hey John, you know how blank and blank are together and blank are together and they're the same gender?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What do you think about that?" And he said, "Oh, I don't really know." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, I want you to know, like, I also would like a relationship that way. And that's called being gay. And I said, but I identify as bi, so I would like either one. And he was like, oh, cool. Okay.
Wow.
That's a nice way of explaining it.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, I think that, like, I didn't really know how to just tell him, but I felt like that was a good way at a young age to explain it, like, especially visually, because they show so many kinds of relationships on that show, even, like, transgender gay, which I thought was a huge step for the time.
Yeah,
when the show came out. But yeah, that's how I came out to my family. I still come out. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say, because when we was talking about you coming on the podcast, you mentioned that you just really never stopped coming out, and it is something that I think that you wanted to talk about, wasn't it? That in everyday life you're always coming out.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend Charlotte and I, we just like I said last night, we were snowboarding and we're just out there and we hold hands on the lift, or we're like kissing or whatever, but it's like, even in those instances, you can feel people like realizing, oh, they're gay. Like, you can almost know that people are identifying it. Like, when you walk down the street, it's like your brain automatically goes, okay, that's a boy, that's a girl, that's a they, that's a, whoever they could be. And then it's like, okay, that's a couple, that's a couple, that's a couple, that's a couple.
Yeah. So we're waiting for that day when people just look past as if it was just a straight couple.
I know, yeah.
Like, they're not automatically like, vroom, oh my God, they're gay.
It's like you feel the side eyes, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You can feel the glares.
It's intense. Where I'm from in Lancaster, I recently just moved to New York last year. So, yeah, a year ago, I was living in Lancaster. And there it's conservative in certain areas, but the actual city of Lancaster, it's quite small, but that's really accepting. But pretty much everywhere outside of there, like, if I'm pretty sure if I went to the mall today where that first incident happened, that was in the news of two guys holding hands, I think that it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But like growing up, like, and I had girlfriends and we would go to the mall, I would stay away from holding their hand because I was so scared. Like, that was actually a pretty pivotal thing. I had dated, this one girl who, she wanted the public affection, but I felt like so scared just due to the fact of like just knowing that people beforehand had made fun of it.
Yeah.
Just like at the mall or at this place. Like, it was scary because you didn't know what people would do or say or.
That's it. I mean, when you don't feel safe.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm a guy. Like, I'm small. So it's like, I don't know, somebody could like beat me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible that thought is the first thing that comes to your head in a lot of public spaces. Like, oh, can I be close to my girlfriend and hold her hand and give her a little kiss, because I don't know who's around me and who's going to react badly to that. And it's shocking that to do such a innocent thing is sparking so much potential fear.
Yeah. It's like here in New York, it's totally fine. Like, we will like go to a cafe and like hold hands and like I'll kiss her cheek or something like that. And it's just so open and nice. But then I know that there's cities out there where there's like girls and boys and theys and thems who can't just due to where they're located and where they were born. Hopefully they can either move somewhere else or be part of the change in their town.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some places have a long way to go.
Yeah,
some communities and some places do have a long way to go in terms of acceptance and progression and stuff. And it's a shame that still needs to happen now, but hopefully one day there'll be a lot more places that are a safe space for people in the LGBT plus community.
Well, and you guys are making it happen.
We are.
Oh,
we're
trying.
You're bringing forth. Like, who knows who could listen to this, but you're bringing forth like a platform.
That's it. I mean, I hope that parents are going to listen to this too, because what we've kind of gathered from this is that some parents that aren't bothered whatsoever, they don't make that known to the child, so they're still battling for years maybe with this in their mind, thinking what they're going to say, what they're going to this, just because maybe their parent hasn't mentioned that they wouldn't be bothered or they'd love them the same.
Yeah,
even
they need
though
to be more like
in the
Amy.
back of the mind you might.
Amy.
More mums like Amy.
Yeah, like, I had no idea what my dad would think, even to the point where when he was hugging me, I still like when I mumbled the words out and just started sobbing. In that moment, I still thought that he was going to reject me.
Yeah.
Until he said, "Oh, it's okay. Like, don't worry. It's just fine."
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. Like, I think he's very supportive of it. He actually got me in his own way. He's very supportive. But for Christmas this year, he got me a bunch of like pride t-shirts.
Yeah.
It has,
Yes.
like, my pronouns are, and like I know that he doesn't know, but he's trying.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
he speaks volumes.
Yeah,
More
definitely.
than,
That's so lovely.
I know, that really is.
yeah, I hope that like in a couple years or however long it takes for COVID to go away, it'll probably be another year until we have Pride here again. But when we do, I'd love to bring my dad.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I think he would love it.
Yeah.
weird way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, my
Partying with all the
parents-
gays.
My parents surprised me so much that they come. You know, I mean, I had a hard time coming out and that, and he wasn't very accepting at first, especially my dad. But the Pride, not the one just gone because that was cancelled, but the one previous to that, they come and they surprised me, and it was honestly, it was the best thing ever. That was like the most pivotal point in it, where I was like, wow, they not only accept it but they support it now, and it was incredible.
Yeah, my parents love my girlfriend more than anybody I've ever dated.
Oh my God,
that's
yeah.
So
They
sweet.
talk about her all the time. They're like, "What's Charlotte doing today? How is she
Oh.
doing? When are you guys coming to visit next?" Like, yeah, they love her. Yeah, it's great. I feel very fortunate and lucky to have a core community of people that accept me. I've never had anybody like, again, like I came out at a point in time where like you had so many YouTube stars who were coming out, celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, Ellen was already at her peak.
Yeah.
And I feel very lucky. Like I came out at a point where it was accepted and everybody around me in my community was accepted. And I was very careful about, you know, certain things. And then like I moved here and everybody, like anybody could be gay and
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
be anything in
Matter.
New York. Anyone can be
Yeah.
anything in
it's
New York,
like I
can't
went
they?
from an extreme of like kind of being timid about it
Mm-hmm.
to just like, okay, everybody, like,
Yes.
it's okay.
Yes.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is. It's very
Incredible.
welcoming.
Yeah.
That's so
but-
good.
Yeah, so that's how I came out.
Yeah, amazing story.
Oh, I
So,
love that.
what would you say to your pre-closeted self if you could give yourself a message right now?
I think the message to my younger self would just be, it doesn't matter who accepts you and who doesn't, because at the end of the day, you have to accept yourself first.
Yeah.
And once you
Yeah.
do that, the people around you will accept you no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a really pivotal thing to say. A lot of people that we've spoken to so far have all had that in common, you know, come out to yourself first. You are the most important person that you need to come out to, because that understanding and acceptance of yourself, I think, will be a huge foundation to set you on your way for coming out again in the future to the people that you love and the people that you don't know. And
Yeah, completely. I remember the first time I actually physically came out to myself. I was driving back from school, and I was a senior in high school at that point. So I had known about it, but did not accept it. I was like, I must be, and I just don't know. And I remember I was driving home, and I started like picking out songs that made me think or like feel gay, because at that point, like I hadn't talked to a girl about it. So I was like, okay, what are songs like? I was listening to like artists I had never listened to before, like Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I started listening to like Robin, I don't know,
Yes.
Muna, like all these like great artists who screamed like it's okay, and it was like acceptance, which was another big thing that was coming out at the time, ironically. But I was driving listening to, I think it was Life in Color by One Republic, because I was obsessed with that song and it made me think of rainbows, and that was the only thing I could think of that was
Yeah.
like, oh,
you
rainbow,
can't get much
okay.
more gay.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was listening to that song, and I just remember I put my windows down, and I'm like driving down this like back road. It's called Intercourse, PA, ironically.
If you pardon the
And,
pun.
yeah. People can look it up. It's just a small town. They sell a lot of quilts. I don't know. It's an Amish town in Lancaster. But yeah, Intercourse, PA. So I'm like booking it home from like an orchestra practice or something. kind of dorky. And I just like screamed the words in my car of like, I am gay.
Yes.
And I felt like this huge release. It was insane.
Whoa.
And that was like the first time that I would just like think about it over and over and over and over and over again, like all day. And I just said it, and then it was like I could just do whatever I wanted to do. It was like it was done. I figured it out. I solved the puzzle.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that was when I came out to myself. I think that would be the thing that I would tell myself is just accept yourself first, because it took me a long time to do that, and then everything else would just follow.
Yeah, it sort of paves the way, doesn't it?
So
as a musician and an artist and someone who has had music play such a pivotal role in your life anyway, would you say that it contributed a lot in your coming out journey?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, the music community already is a pretty accepting community. They have a ways to go for, women in music, but in terms of accepting people for who they are, it's an art form, and I think art in general is very inclusive.
Yeah.
Which is great, and I'm a part of one of those communities in music. So when I was figuring it all out, at that point in time, I could just Google like musicians who are gay.
Yeah.
And just blast their music and listen to what they were saying, look up their artistry, who they were. There's a lot of great artists who at least at the time of me coming out were also just coming out. Like now we have Lil Nas, who came out as gay. So he's a young guy, and he's also part of the Black community, which they need a huge voice.
Massively,
that's like one of the hardest things, is being Black and gay. And I don't know much about that community, but in any way I can support it, I will.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like he came out last year, I think, or the year before. Like Troye Sivan was around.
Love
when I
Troye
was coming
Sivan.
out. He was still really young, wasn't fully making music yet, but now he's just like a musician, artist, incredible musician. And I looked up to him. Like I mentioned earlier, like Katy Perry, even though I don't know what she is, but
No,
I think she's straight, but she was supportive of it, and to me that meant a lot, because it meant that somebody who wasn't part of it was an ally, and I knew that meant that anybody could accept it if they believed in it.
Well, she kissed a girl and she liked it, so who knows?
So I think music definitely played a massive role in terms of being a listener.
Yeah.
Ooh, this was something I think about once in a blue moon. Basically, my music background is my mom had me playing the piano when I was like 5. I was just practicing. And then the school I went to had us play the violin from age first grade, like so when you're 6 to about 9 years old. You had to play the violin. It was part of the curriculum. And then, so I fell in love with it. And then when I was about 12, 13 years old, I switched to the upright bass. And that led me to play the bass guitar and then the actual guitar. So when I started learning how to play the guitar, I started figuring out that I could sing songs and play them at the same time, because it doesn't translate on the bass, but for some reason when I started playing the guitar, it was completely different.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the process. And so I would pick out all these songs like I Swear This Time I Mean It by Mayday Parade, or like random all-time low songs like Dear Maria. Oh my god, I started singing all these songs that I found that I liked singing the songs that guys wrote, because it used the words like she or her or girl names. And I don't know, like when One Direction released Olivia, and it's like, I love Olivia. And I like don't know an Olivia, but I was like, I could sing this song forever, because it's like me saying I love a girl. And that was so, like, I would just sit there in my room quietly being like, and da-da-da, and she said
Yes.
Like I was just so like infatuated with singing songs that had the word she in it. And now I write that. And I think that was a big part. And it's like such a simple thing of just tweaking it. Most Taylor Swift songs, or songs that I would hear on the radio, all had like, and he said, and then we went to this thing and he did this. And I resonated with that, but it didn't have the same like spark or effect on me as singing a song that a guy wrote that used the other pronouns. And then once I was older and had already come out, then there were more artists that started using that. Like Hayley Kiyoko was, I think,
Yes.
a really pivotal artist, in at least specifically in pop music, because she just like threw the word she all over the place.
Yep.
Um,
That Girls Like
yeah,
Girls
now you
video,
have,
though.
like,
Oof.
yeah. And then you have like Fletcher, who's killing
Yes.
it right
Oh my
now.
God.
Yeah, she really is now paving a new way.
And yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
listening to your music, it's like, oh, not only is it music for the soul, but like it's so relatable, and it's just so nice to listen to music like that. That is about girls, written by a girl.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I really just want to capture that almost like nostalgic feeling that I had listening to it and how it first made me feel
Yeah.
when I started like writing songs about girls. And it was just like the 1975 has a song called Girls. And I would just blast
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love the
like just
1975.
me too.
Yeah. So we're just gonna ask then about our favorite songs and like where the inspiration behind that. Where you got the inspiration behind that. So mine is Evergreen and Just Being Honest, because I like I mean, they're a little bit more upbeat, aren't they? Whereas Gabs, you like the mellower ones, I think. But
The more like kind of songwritten vibes, like acoustic-y,
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
stripped back type of thing.
So Evergreen and Just Being Honest, where's your inspo behind both of them, and can you talk a little bit behind them songs?
Yeah. So, just to catch anybody up, so I'm Jackie, but I also go by the artist named Lynx, and I released a few songs on Spotify, the internet, wherever you stream it. But I have this song called Evergreen, and that one specifically is written about growing up to be the person you always are meant to be. So I almost view life as like you have this path that's kind of already set for you, and you have like choices, or it's almost like a staircase, more or less. So like as you level up in life, you're going up these stairs, and it's already kind of set for you, but you can also change it in the actions and things that you do and how you grow up and who you surround yourself with and things like that. So Evergreen, the cool thing about evergreen trees, and I learned this from my grandmother, she told me that evergreen trees they are the only tree in the forest that stays green the whole year round. They're the strongest trees.
Yeah, I love it.
So I wanted to write a song about that and capturing how we as humans can relate to the tree of like we can be the strongest version of ourselves
Wow, I love
and
that.
never get rid of the green, which is, I guess, metaphorically like the good parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
So you can grow up to still have the innocence of a child, or the laughter you had in your 20s and you're still like, or like kindness. I don't know, it's like
I love
growing
that.
up to be the person you were always meant to be and already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like just being a better version of yourself, basically, or the best version of yourself, but you already are that.
Yeah. Like you keep that
Yeah.
within you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already within you, and it's just you're growing up to like shine your light bigger.
Yes.
And I believe that's in everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible song though. Oh, absolutely.
Thank
love
you.
It.
Me too. It's such a good
Yeah.
message to spread as well, especially to younger listeners and that embrace who you are, be proud of it, and show it
Yeah.
off. Love that. Shine bright like a beautiful green evergreen.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like one of my favorites, a pine tree.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
yeah.
very similar. I think pine trees also keep their greens.
Yeah, they're evergreens, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
Just Being Honest, then that's probably my favorite, I think.
I do love that one too.
Yeah.
Just being
Yeah.
honest, I really like that song. I resonated with it a lot. That one is like, I don't think a paradox is the right word, but it's kind of just about like when you're in a relationship and you want to say all of these things, either things are going bad or it's about to yourself. Like it can go either way. Like when I was writing it, I had this clear story in my head, but then as a listener, I bring it in another way. So it's like when I wrote it, I had this specific scenario in mind about coming to terms with the relationship you're in that's not necessarily going the greatest, but you're like, I just want to say these things, and maybe this will be the last thing I can say, and it'll be okay, and we'll get through it together, kind of thing. But then I had this idea later on, once it was already written and everything, and I just thought, wow, it's like you're saying it to yourself too, of like, you know, just being honest. You're being honest with yourself finally as well. So it can go both ways, but I really like that song as well. I wrote that one with this incredible producer. His name is Keith Farron, and he's also worked with like the Aces, which are a big LGBT group as well.
Love the Aces. Oh my god,
he's awesome. Yeah, he helped produce it, and yeah, it's just brilliant. I love that song. We have a few others coming that are in that same style.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Okay, yeah,
I'm so ready.
If you like Just Being Honest, you'll like 2021.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm excited.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. Go on then, Gabs.
Okay, so it was hard to choose favorites. It really was. Like, we've been listening to you on repeat for a while, like really getting into it. But I would say my top two are Mirror and Melody.
Oh, snap.
Ooh,
Okay.
well, yeah, the message behind Mirror of what I get from that is so amazing. Yeah, I really like the message behind that.
Thank you. That one is, I mean, it's straightforward, but it's not. In it, I say, I wouldn't turn from the mirror, which is a reference to this idea I had where if I loved myself like I love you, if I saw myself like I see you, I wouldn't turn from the mirror.
That's the line.
So
That's the line.
it cuts deep, you know?
Yeah, it's if you loved yourself the way that you love your best friend or your loved one, or say you're like so close with your mom, you love your mom endlessly, you love your best friend endlessly, your grandparents, and you see them, and like I look at my girlfriend and I wouldn't change a thing about her, and yet I look in the mirror sometimes and I would change so many things about myself, but yet I wouldn't change a thing about her. So it's like, if I saw myself the way that I saw her, I feel like if everybody did that, we wouldn't have this self-hatred all the time. And so it's like, when you look in the mirror, it's like, then maybe I wouldn't turn away from it. Sometimes, like, in the morning, like this morning, I woke up and my hair was, like, all over the place. So my first instinct is like, oh, I don't want to look at myself.
Yeah.
And yet she would look at me and be like, oh, you look so great today.
Yeah.
You know, it's so simple. Yeah, I feel like I want to ingrain it more. So that's why I wrote the song.
Yeah.
I love
that
so
message
much.
so much because self-love is so important, and it's so important to me, and I've had like a bit of a journey with that, and I can honestly say I love myself 100%. I really do. And like, it's not, you know, you don't say that in an egotistic way, but it's not like I love the way I look, I love this. It's like, no, I have love for myself. And I think that is the root for your confidence, your drive, your passions, everything, you know, and loving everyone else as well. I think that you can love people the fullest you can if you love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's that saying too where it goes around where it's like, how can somebody love you 100% if you don't love yourself 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love yourself 100%, you know, say you loved yourself at maybe 20%, whatever. That's very low. That's very low. This is purely for example purposes.
but there are people who do love themselves 20%.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with a higher statistic because we like to spread positive vibes on Queer Podcast. Say you love yourself at like 70%.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes along and they love you at 75%. Right? You think, oh, amazing, this person adores me and this, that, and the other. But there's still another 25% to go. Do you know what I mean?
And it's like, imagine what that would feel like.
Mm-hmm.
If you are already so happy with 75% love, and then you later feel what 100% love feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that 25% could make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, what's the film? I think it's The Perks of Being a Wallflower. A quote that I carry with me. Yeah.
Yes.
Go on, what's the quote?
we accept the love we think we deserve.
Yes.
And I didn't understand it for such a long time. And then one day it just clicked with me, you know, having the experiences that you have and the relationships that you have with different people. And you think about that quote and you think, okay, I understand that now. I'm not going to let somebody treat me like shit. I'm not going to let somebody, you know, dictate things about me that are not nice or whatever. So
that's a good one.
I think that's why, I mean, I love the melody of Mirror anyway, but I think that's the main reason that it resonates so much with me and so
it really makes you think, doesn't it?
The lyrics are so powerful, and I like that about like a lot of your songs. Like lyrics are, you get so many songs these days that are just so lyrically uninspired, I think. And to find an artist who really writes from the heart and writes about real issues and writes about real personal things, I just love that so much. I enjoy that music so much more. So
thank you. That means a lot. I just also remembered in the beginning of it, I say the words, and I'd like to clarify it too, is like I say, we are born to bond, intertwined to survive. It basically means as humans, we are, and this is like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of dorky or nerdy, but I kind of realized like as humans, like as beings, we're born to grasp onto each other. Like hugging is in our nature. Laughing together is in our nature. We actually don't know why we laugh.
Yeah.
Like weird, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so humans were born to connect, and to survive we need other humans around us.
Oh yeah, we're social human beings, social species, and affectionate beings.
So I wanted to introduce that in the beginning of the song, of like right away, as like you need other people around you. Therefore, because of that, you have to have confidence in yourself and love yourself and really work on that before you can really allow people around you to accept you for who you are, which I think is a huge part of coming out. Of like, if you can accept yourself as gay, then people around you will accept yourself as gay because you are.
Yeah.
But if you don't accept it, then how can you expect anybody else to, if you yourself don't accept yourself?
Well said.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with like insecurities as well. And I think if you're insecure about certain parts of yourself, the energy that you give off like lacks that love in a certain place of yourself. And I think people pick up on them insecurities as well, and your energy just doesn't lie, doesn't it? I think when you do love yourself 100% and you accept yourself as well, the confidence and the radiant that you give off is incredible.
Yeah.
I think that's why a great artist right now who's doing like body positivity 100% is Lizzo.
Yes,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh my god! Like you talk about, she just poked out a trend recently where it was a trend on TikTok where girls were being like, bodies that look like this also look like this.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, an okay trend, because you are showing like what your actual body looks like, and you're proving that, hey, like just sucking it in, like don't think that that's reality, because this is reality. But Lizzo did a video and she was like, bodies that look like this also look like this. And it was just like normal body, like her body just as it is, and not sucking anything and not doing anything, just like, this is my body and I love my body.
Yeah.
And I think just she's an amazing advocate for body positivity, no matter what you look like.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, go on then.
Melody. What was the second song? Melody?
Yeah, Melody.
Melody. Okay. That came about when my girlfriend and I, we were dating. I think we were maybe 4 months into the relationship. We hadn't like even really determined the relationship at all. We just basically, we say that we met on Tinder. Actually, we just met up the first date and just never stopped hanging out. That's like basically what we say, because we really didn't. We just started hanging out and just never stopped. And yeah, so she asked me for Christmas if I could write her like a lullaby to go to sleep to. And in my head, I just thought, oh, well, that equals a love song.
Yeah.
We haven't said I love you. We haven't even said that we're girlfriends, which we actually did it backwards. We said I love you before we actually said my girlfriend. Yeah, so it was like Christmas Eve, and I showed her the song, and we just both started crying, basically. it was a really nice moment. But I wrote the song for her, and yeah, but I had this idea in my head about it being like she wanted like a lullaby, and so I was like, well, you're my melody. Like I want to be your
love that
melody.
so
I want to
much.
be.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
She doesn't cry,
Yes.
so you're doing well. Like there's some emotional bits going on right now.
I played it at a few shows, and it's crazy when you like look out into the crowd and you just see people like in the back just like sobbing or crying after they were just like with their hands up,
Yeah.
jamming out. It's a weird feeling. I love it, but yeah, it's crazy how impactful music can be. And it was
Totally, yeah.
it was cathartic for me too, because I think that at the time in the relationship, it wasn't moving quickly or anything in that sense. It was just very intense, and I knew that she was going to be special to me whether we were in a relationship or not, because at that point we were just like constantly hanging out. And I knew that I loved her, and I think she knew that she loved me. We just hadn't said it.
Scary saying it the first time.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
song
like-
basically showed that, or told her that. Is that right?
Because there's saying that you love someone and then there's showing it, and both are
Yeah.
so intense in different
Yeah,
ways.
it was a very intense moment. Well, it's already hard enough when you show somebody a song and you're just like sitting there, just like, what do you think of it?
Yeah.
You listening to the words and me just sitting there like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't like storm out.
Oh no.
Because all she asked for was a lullaby. And then she got this. And I originally wasn't going to release a song. That was the whole thing. I was like, nope, this is the song. It's for you and only you. And then I think she showed it to her family. And I was like, why would you do that? Oh my God. Because I was so worried that they were now going to like judge me based on this love song. And I was so embarrassed. But then they all loved it, because obviously it was me like professing my love for their daughter.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what parent wouldn't want that, I guess, now
I know,
looking back
yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just came from like, I guess, pure love and nothing other than that.
Oh,
That's
well, I'm
amazing.
so glad
Oh.
that you released it.
Me too. For like
Because we can feel it when we listen.
I know. It's like such an emotional little sap like myself. I'm
Yeah.
listening, just like tearing up, looking at Soph like, oh my God, I love you so much.
I'm like, get Evergreen on. Well, amazing. So people can find you on Spotify then, or wherever they get the music from, and it's Lynx, LYNCS.
Yes. Yep.
Got it.
That was amazing. I think really empowering messages from your story, and your music is going to just have so many positive and, again, empowering messages for future listeners and people who listen now. And I think I'm just ready for the Fletcher and Lynx collab.
Oh my God.
Or Hayley Kiyoko or Troye Sivan. I'm ready for it.
Yes.
I'm so ready.
We're ready for Lynx 2021. You've already got
I'm
us
ready for it
excited
too.
for it.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. This was awesome.
Thanks for coming
Yeah.
on. It's been a pleasure.
It really
I'm
has.
so glad that we could like share our stories and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
and not only have people come away from this with a great story, also great messages from you and great advice, and a new artist to listen to. Check her out. You won't regret
Oh
it.
man, it's a triple whammy.
It is. It is. We're spoiling everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Well, what a good episode, I
know.
think.
So lovely to talk to Jackie, aka Lynx.
Yeah, I know. What a cool gal. Yeah, defo hit her up on Spotify, because honestly, we're not just saying it. Her music actually is so good.
We've been singing it along all morning, haven't we? Woke up like, just being honest.
No, it really is. It's like, I mean, I don't know if she wants me to compare it to other artists, but I would say Maggie Rogers meets Halsey. That's the vibe.
I don't see how she could complain about you comparing her to those two.
Okay,
women,
good, because yeah, that's how I see it anyway. And nice chill beats. I like that.
With real lyrics.
I thought it was interesting at the start when she was talking about figuring out herself, and that she's not only attracted to men and not only attracted to women, but she didn't know what to call that or what that was. And it's like, you know, as much as we think, oh, don't label yourself, like labels are so important sometimes, and like people really look to grab onto that label to
Oh, yeah.
identify, don't they, you know?
Of course, I think labels carry connotations of negativity and positivity at the same time. When you look at a label in terms of an identifier for yourself, I think they're really important because they can help you understand who you are. They can help you almost not categorize yourself as such, but if you find comfort in a certain identity, that I think will help a lot with personal growth. It definitely did for me anyway. But then when you think about the negative connotation of labels,
when people label you,
that's almost a case of, well, I'm much more than my label. And it's
weird,
difficult,
isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between the two, and it's difficult to. It's so hard because labels are so important for self-identification, like you said, and sometimes self-acceptance. But at the same time, if another person starts to define you solely on that label, that's when it's arising the argument of, well, actually, no, I'm much more than that.
Yeah.
Don't just define me as the lesbian or the gay.
That's it. You are not the label.
Yeah.
You can put a part of you in that label, or you identify with that label. Like, the label's not you. You just identify with it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting when she said that. I was thinking,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but before I came out as gay, I was bisexual for a long time.
I was battling with being a lesbian like my whole childhood. So then I went from very straight to absolute massive dyke within the space of a day.
Just woke up one day and you're like, no, I'm a complete raging homosexual.
Well, honestly, I took a seat in uni, in my first year of uni, and this lesbian walked in. Not really like my type now because she looked so gay at the time, but I just went, oh fuck. Like, oh fuck. I know what's going to happen, and that actually did happen.
I call that my oh shit moment.
Yeah.
My oh shit moment was watching Coronation Street and watching Sophie and Shan have a kiss. One of my few oh shit moments, but I looked at that and I thought, oh fuck. I'm like, oh shit. I want that.
Yeah. It's like, you know what, where's that label? I need it. Where is it? I'm grabbing it. You know what? Just stick it on my head. Join us on the next episode when we've got our first couple on the podcast, TikTok duo, Rosie and Lee. No, it was a funny chat.
It was. We had a good laugh.
Yeah.
We also talked about some very important things, and their stories are very unique and profound and good content.
Yeah.
Good to listen to while you're having a brew.
Yeah. See you next week.
Can't wait, love.
See ya, love.
Ta-ra, love.
Oh, we'll tell you one day why we say this.
We will, if people are interested.
Yeah, this is how we answer the phone.
Love.
To each other, yeah. Love.
And every time we leave each other a voicemail, we're like, all right, see you later.
It grosses me out. Bye.
Bye.
Well, join us next week.
Next episode.
Well, join us on... Yeah. Join us on the next episode. What? Fucking hell.
We are back with episode number... Fuck.
Who is an art and a singer-songwriter... Oh, fuck, go. Go, stop.